This economic counter proposal is just a complete disrespect, a complete lack of doing the morally right thing to do, because we did work through a pandemic.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
All right, caller from 714 area code. I believe you were on the air. Could you talk to us?
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Awesome. So glad this worked.
Buenos dias. My name is Jose Francisco Negrete, Teamster out of Local 952, out here in the most happiest place on earth, Anaheim, California. I'm not talking about Disneyland, but Disneyland happens to be in my beautiful city.
Great. Thanks for calling in, Jose. I appreciate it. I was really interested in hearing from Teamsters about what's been going on. So how are you feeling, and how are your coworkers feeling about these negotiations?
Well, in the beginning, we started negotiations around, I believe, late January, early February. And we didn't get that much update because they were just negotiating the regional parts of our contract. So we weren't getting that much update. Now, moving forward, we started national. Sean O'Brien held two member update calls, one this past Wednesday and the other one 2 weeks prior to that, where he went over all the national agreements, which were basically all the non-economic parts to our contract. Some of them were good, and just yesterday, someone leaked out the UPS economic proposal, and I was telling the members how disrespectful it was. And if you read their economic proposal or counter proposal, whatever you want to call it, you could tell I guess they must have amnesia or something, because they forgot about what we went through in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 with COVID. It's just like they view us as disposable workforce. Like, I have a friend, his name is Steven Gaxiola. Shout out to him and his podcast, Raider and the Saint. His brother was a driver out of the Cerrito sub, which is not too far from the Anaheim hub where me and Steven work at. He's a driver. I'm a part-timer. His brother passed away from COVID. And there was another driver that passed away from COVID. So for some reason, UPS, I don't know. I don't think they want to acknowledge the fact of what happened in 2020. They just want to remember the economic boom, the economic record-breaking profits that we generated for them. So it's the members are kind of like pissed off by reading the UPS economic counter proposal. But what's funny is I still haven't seen our economic proposal. I don't know what IBT negotiating committee proposed, because they're under a MDA, a non-disclosure agreement. So we won't know till.
Yeah, that's a real shame. Yeah, that's a real shame that they agreed to that in ground rules. But theoretically, I mean, this leak of the UPS proposal is a violation of that. But I mean, it is. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, you can find it if you're interested, folks who are listening. You can go on Twitter and search for @UpsurgePod, and they've got pictures of the agreement and just to lay out some of this stuff. UPS wants to have a $17 an hour starting pay for part-timers, which is only, what is it now, $15.50? Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. They also want to be able to do a reverse cost of living increase in the case of an economic downturn. Yeah, I mean, yeah, They want to keep market rate adjustments, which are non-contractual pay raises they use to bait workers. Only problem is they can take them away whenever they want. Thousands say wage cuts last year up to $6 an hour. No new full-time jobs, which was a major demand of the Teamsters. Part-time workers can go over a decade without the ability to get full-time jobs, which you know very well. Package car drivers' top rates will be cut, get this, from $42 an hour to $32 an hour. They're actually coming after, they're wanting concessions in record-breaking profits. I mean, this is just, insulting is the right word. Inside workers, they want to cut the top rate from $36 an hour to $24 an hour. No health and welfare and pension rate increases. They want to cut part-timer health insurance contributions, and some part-timers would end up with no health care at all. UPS appears to be agreeing to abolish the two-tier driver system, but is demanding more flexibility in new 6-day and soon-to-be-defined 7-day operations. In other words, another concession. Really kind of astounding that they would even put this on the table.
Well, if you read the whole thing, like, because I have the the documents too. There's one part of it where it says eliminations of MOBs. MOBs is the maintenance of benefits. Because in 2013, which is probably the most business unionist contract we had, very reactionary. We were in the UPS company healthcare plan before 2013. 2013 comes around, UPS goes, no, we don't want to run it. We don't want to fund it. We want out of it. Hence, during negotiations, it was agreed that UPS will fund it, but that's where they will stop. They will stop at the funding, and anything else, they wash their hands on it. That's why Team Care was created for most of the country out here in the West and Local 177 in New Jersey. We did like what they call the carve out, our own healthcare insurance. So UPS wants to eliminate funding all that. They just want, they don't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
So, I mean, this economic counter proposal, whatever you want to call it, is just a complete disrespect, a complete lack of doing the morally right thing to do. Because we did work through a pandemic. When we worked, I remember seeing individuals, outside agencies come into our hub dressed like astronauts and disinfect like work areas because, somebody caught COVID, so they had to disinfect it, and just people were scared. It was working through uncertainty and fear during that time, especially in 2020, especially during, late spring going into the summer, where we really didn't know information, didn't really know anything, because we had a president at the time that wanted to be the cheerleader of the United States rather than being an adult and tell us, hey, this is the reality of this disease, this virus, and this is, we just had a person that was just, I don't know, whatever he was, So I remember working through that time and just seeing the faces of people just like scared, and I was scared too. I wore double mask at that time, and I was just like, because my mother is in her 70s, so I don't want to get my mom sick. I have a son at that time. He was 12. I don't want to get him sick. So, I would come home. My mom would have a disinfected spray, and she would spray me down, spray all my clothes, so just in case. And then I would put my clothes in the bag and leave them outside of my apartment, because I don't want to get sick. I don't want my mother getting sick. I don't want my son getting sick. Right. And some of us unfortunately got sick, and they're still feeling the effects. And some of us passed away, which I guess UPS must have forgot that some of us passed away while doing our job. But they did put posters in my hub and other hubs as well, calling us heroes.
Oh.
Yet they didn't want to pay us. Well, they didn't want to pay us hazard pay.
Yeah, well, that's not enough for you.
I guess we're asking. I guess the poster had to be suffice for us. And we had to do good with that poster. We had to look in that poster every day and remind ourselves that we were heroes.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it really is astounding. And, you know, the CEO of UPS makes more than a UPS driver makes in a year. The CEO of UPS makes that in a day. You know, I mean, it's just so, the idea, I couldn't believe when I was reading those numbers from that economic proposal that they would do that. I mean, you know, after all of the sacrifice that you just laid out from the pandemic, and then on top of that, that y'all sacrificed so much and they made more money than ever in the history of the company. You know, the idea that you would have both of those things.
But Jake and Adam, we were working, okay, so Monday and Friday, basically a part-timer wasn't a part-timer no more. We were working almost 12 hours a day. Some of our hubs that are not 24-hour hubs, like my hub, so we only have a preload, which works like from 3 in the morning to 9 in the morning before the drivers get out. And then we would have a twilight, you know, that goes from 6 to 11, or some places have a preload in the night, whatever. Those hubs were working 24 hours, almost 24 hours a day. I remember working 12 hours a day, and then 8 on Saturday, and then 6 on Sunday. And we did that for almost 2 months. Because why? The country was in lockdown. Everybody was ordering things online. You know, the e-commerce, economy just blew up. And we had packages stacked up everywhere, underneath every belt, stacked up outside. It was just, we just had packages. I've never seen so much. We always talk in UPS land. We always talk about, peak being the heaviest season, and there's packages everywhere because, you know, people are ordering for their loved ones and during Christmas, whatnot. Comes late spring into the summer 2020. Basically, we were just in peak overload. It was like peak gone on steroids. We had so much work that we couldn't even handle the work.
Right.
You know, it was just way. We were sacrificing everything we got, and we were called to come in like at, for example, I would come in at 11 in the morning because I would do the setup, or 11:30, and I wouldn't leave till like 12, like right before my 12th hour. So I'm like, you know, I don't want to take a second lunch. I just want to go home and rest, you know. But that was our job. We had to do our job during that time, and UPS doesn't remember that. It's just a complete disrespect to all the UPS workforce, all the drivers out there that sacrificed for their families, that probably got sick because they were doing their job during that time. It's a complete disrespect to all of us.
Yeah, I totally agree. And have y'all started practice pickets yet?
No. What we do at my hub, and there's some other hubs as well, we wear red on Fridays as a form of solidarity. Now, I have people coming up to me trying to clarify, is this a communist thing, or is this a magma thing, or is this a Jimmy Hoffa? Because during the conventions, Hoffa's crew or whatever camp would wear a red vest. So I'm like, no, solid. We wear red because in the labor movement, red means solidarity. So we're showing solidarity between all of us. Because every contract is about one thing and one thing only, which is respect. Right? So we've earned our respect. We deserve our respect, and we're going to get our respect. So that's why I tell the members that. So as I know you guys have read the Jane McElvain, it's a structure test. I mean, I'm not in the 90s yet, but you know, it's in the 60s. So I just need more work to be done, you know, when it comes to that structure test. But I hope my local does some practice picketing. I already told the members we might do this, so now the ball is their court, you know.
Right.
If sometimes as members we want to do things, but when you're not well liked by your local, you know, and you know, it's very discouraging, like to put yourself out there, because you're like, why should I put myself out there? You guys do not like me. You guys don't help me. You guys view me as some sort of cancer. So why should I help you? You know, but at the end of the day, you still need to do what's right. And what's right is getting our members engaged, telling our members, hey, we might have a practice picket. So if we start at 6:45, or 6:30, I guess this week is the latest start time. Then you come in, at 6 and you will practice tickets, or it could be the conversation is after reading all that, UPS economic proposal, you have to start saving. I've saved money and I've been telling members to save money, but now I'm really telling members to, you really need to save money because there might be a chance that we might hit these streets. I didn't think we were. But after reading that, it just seems like, and according to Carol Tremaine, when she got on CNBC, she said they weren't far apart. Now, you read the economic proposal, no, we're not even on the same, we're not on the same, universe. We're in two different multiverses, using, MCU canon talk. We're in Earth 666 and they're in Earth 215 or whatever it may be. We're not in the same universe.
Yeah.
So I'm telling the members, like, yeah, you really now to start saving money. If you have it now, you need to. Because, I mean, we still got, 37 days more to go, so.
Yep, like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
July 31st. Thomas Lupton in the chat is another Teamster. He said that we were told that Teamsters pay to maintain our insurance plus $500 a week strike pay on day one of a potential strike. So definitely important to keep saving, but that will be helpful.
Well, yeah, because he might be in Team Care, and Team Care, they have a strike clause. Out here in the West, we don't. Out here in the West, we have one punch a week because, like I said earlier, with that MOB, UPS would just give you the money, but they didn't want to administrate it. So we had we used in the company plan, everybody used to have a 1 month punch rule. We'll just have to punch once a month and keep our insurance for that month, for the following month. And that was it. Now, come 2013, the most concessionary contract of them all, here comes Team Care, and we do our carve out over here called the Western Region and Local 177 Healthcare Plan. And we went from one punch a month to one punch a week. So theoretically, if we go into that second week, by that third week, we'll have lost insurance. If we go into that third week of the strike, I believe we will lose our insurance. So that's what is scary for us. I just hope our committee that oversee our healthcare plan will meet and then come up with some sort of strike clause where it says, in lieu of a strike or in case of a strike, members will not lose their insurance for at least a month. But everything's so uncertain right now because everything is so fluid and, they're just focusing on the negotiations. So I hope our representatives that sit on that committee, go have an emergency meeting and then propose that and we'll see what happens. But I'm just hoping on that end.
Yeah. Jose, appreciate you taking the time to call. Thank you.
No, thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.